In this video, we will be exploring how to create a sharp knife-like blade in 3DCoat with voxels. Voxels aren't the natural tool to use when creating such extreme geometry as a thin and sharp blade, but it can be done. Check this out. I'm going to, first of all, switch on my grid, and I'm going to be using the curves tools to quickly snap to the grid and get a shape going roughly in the shape of a blade. Now I'm gonna get rid of my grid and pressing Q. I'm going to choose the curve selection item, and I'm going to select that single curve, and I'm going to click on the remove sharp corners, aka bevel tool. Let's see how far we can push this. It only goes until 100. So I'm going to override it with, let's try 6 times this amount. Okay, that will do for us. I'm going to click OK. Now you can probably see where I'm going with this, but what will I be using is going to be the big surprise, because the blob tool will be my choice for this operation. Now, depending on how dense your grid is, I have absolutely no idea, but I'll just do a test stroke with the sphere tool to get a grip on the density of my grid. Now I press W and zoom in, and I will say that this is dense enough. So I can clear this layer, go back to the blob tool, and we've got a couple of options here, and round border or plain border just won't cut it. Ha ha. Sharp border will. Now we've got this border form parameter, which will help us do the heavy lifting. For now, let's just press, actually, am I in the blob tool? Yes. Let's just press enter and see what happens. This might be a little bit of a did I say enter? Because I wanted to. Yes, apply. Okay, so as you can see, 2 things happened. This curve got filled with a nice little shape, and this shape is way too thick. So from the side view, you can see that it is just not blade enough. So I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to make my brush smaller by scrolling down. I'm only using a mouse. And I'm going to crank up this parameter, this border form parameter, to, let's say, 5 times its value. Okay, clearing the layer again and clicking apply. Let's go to the side view. And this is more like it, much more like it. Let's hide the curve. Actually, I didn't hide the curve. Now I hide the curve. And kind of looks decent. To make this a proper blade, we can just follow up by cutting off the bottom and this part. And as you can see, this turns out to be a pretty decent blade. Now you have to play with the shape of your choosing. So if it's too stylized for you, then fine. You can always make it work for your own purposes. Now, what I would like to do is just a bit cut off more of this geometry and make it a little bit more pleasant, and like that. And what I'll also be doing is pressing R and then really pushing sideways. So I'm holding R and I'm pushing my mouse sideways to get a really nice round bevel on the whole shape. Now let go of R and I'm not holding anything. I'll press space and I'll gently bring my shape here, let go and double click. Okay, that was all. This is what I wanted to do. Okay, what if we would like to create some teeth that cut into the blade to make it a bit more saw-like? Well, that's possible as well. Let's go back to our curve. It's still there. Let's use this curve for this teeth distribution. So pressing the Q. Okay, first of all, let's go to curves, activate curves editor. Well, Q should have done that as well. And I'm going to select that point and say split point. Okay, and now the curve that follows the blade is pretty much where I want it to be. Maybe I can click that and delete it. Okay, nice. Now, to create the teeth, I'm going to go into the modeling room, press space, and I'm going to select a 3D primitive. And furthermore, I'm going to select the cylinder, make it align to my view. I think I'm going to make the radius a bit larger, and I'm going to crank down the average number of polygons to exactly 0. And this is how you get a triangle. Okay. Now I would like to rotate this as well. So I'm going to click on this button and I'm going to rotate it 30 degrees to have that edge where I would like it to be, and press apply. Okay. Now I have a geometry where I want it to be. Okay, let's select all of these. I pressed plus on the numpad, and I'm also going to position this, actually pressing Q to be in the middle, and maybe to make it a little bit like such. Okay. Control D will deselect everything for me in this poly modeling mode. And I'd like to click on array of copies because I want to distribute this along this curve. So array of copies it is. It's trying to give me a linear copy, which I won't accept. I'd like to choose a long spline. We have to pick the spline, which is our curve. And now we would like to crank up the number of I think I'll leave this at that. Actually, I'll just press escape, and I'll modify this polygon a bit because Control D, select and transform. There you go. Okay, probably this would be better. Let's see what our array of copies does. Oh, obviously now it's only the face is selected, so I'm gonna press escape and Control D, and now array of copies will do a better job. What I was concerned about is that these little teeth that I'm trying to cut in won't go where I would like them to go. These will be big saw-like teeth, so I think I'm going to press escape one last time, select and transform, and let's just push this to the side a little bit, and then Control D, array of copies. Yes, now the whole shape is better positioned for my needs. I think I'm just gonna say do array and press escape. And I know this is a clumsy method, but still, if there's a better one, please do show me. Let's go to the sculpt room and look at the sculpt tree and say geometry, retopo mesh to sculpt mesh. So we have all of these as a surface, which I will trim down because I don't need everything. These I definitely do not need. Okay, I want to get rid of the edge radius. So I think, yep, that's where I'm drawing the line. And all I have to do is press Control, drag hover over these 6 points, and pressing Control, I am subtracting from the blade. Okay, that's about it. Going to the sculpt tree, we can finish this knife off by just making it a little bit more stylish. Let's cut off a couple of extra points. Pressing space to position this. Well, that's not too nice. Okay, let's undo this. Yeah, I think I'll do the following. I'm going to use the pose tool to extend this section. Reset axis. And there you go. And now we can Control D. Not sure what's happening over there, but whoops. Cut off. Okay. And I don't know. This may be a selection bug. Anyways. So yep, we can use the pose tool to extend this part of the knife. Control D. And let's add a, okay, we can decorate this knife with a little bit of cutouts. Let's quickly invoke the grid. And here I will be cranking up the radius and maybe pressing getting rid of the grid. Okay. What's interesting about the pose tool is that it lets you position things inside the Vox tree. See, I wanted to reposition that and I could. Okay, let's go back to the pose tool. Oh, we're still in the pose tool. This is bugging me. Control D. Whatever this is, I'm going to leave it, but not sure. Okay, and let's make a handle for this knife, and let's make it a blob handle. The curves toolkit is persistent in appearing in this top bar, so you have to sometimes go to the curves menu and say stop editing curves, and then they'll leave you alone. Okay, and now let's create that handle. I'm going to create a new layer with the same density. I think okay, why not have it a cylinder? I mean, that's not out of the ordinary. Radius, height, again radius, again height. Position this. Let's see, it's pretty much in the middle. Let's make the top radius a bit more, a bit less, and maybe the height can be adjusted. Okay, I think I'll just apply it and then live with it. Let's resample it to something low and smooth it a couple of times. Maybe even lower will. Okay, good. if we transform this, I think I'm gonna just make it a bit bigger. We can easily say that we'd like to cut this off to make it more handle-like. So I'm going to crank up subdivisions, and then I'll get back down. I just need to make the z-axis the symmetry axis, and I'm going to draw a pleasant curve. Okay, now I'm going to go back, whoops, I'm going to go back to a low poly count, like under 10,000, smooth it out, and then we might even just tweak it a little bit to have some kind of a there you go. Okay. Well, this wasn't meant to be a knife tutorial, but it kind of became one. And we can also you know, it's endless what you can start creating, but for now this should do. And let's color stuff a bit. Along with the knife, use the cavity and the bulge. Let's also give this a color. Bulge intensity. I'm going to crank this up. And yeah, you can go on and on. This is just gonna be, this is a simple knife tutorial. I think if I change shaders, this might solve itself. Let's see if it's true. Oh, wait. I wonder what this is. Looks like it's some kind of a vertex paint or a mask, freeze, unfreeze all. Will we ever know? Yes, this is a color, a vertex color. And pro tip, if you're painting vertex colors, always be in surface mode. Otherwise, it may not turn out as you wish. I'm going to press V to sample. Interesting. What if I say eraser? Yeah, it gets rid. It gets rid of everything. Okay, so for some reason, vertex colors got pushy and introduced themselves in my model, and I don't know why. But since we're here, let's color stuff in. I mean, why not? Let's make this handle some kind of a wood. So I'll go back to the painting room, click on Smart Materials and on Wood, and I think I'm gonna just click on the wood I like the best. This prompts you to calculate curvatures and all sorts of stuff, so I'll say OK and OK. And then I'm going to need the fill tool to actually visualize the smart material, which I will be rotating to make the grain of the wood the proper direction. And you can fill the part of the model that you would like if you press E and you are on one of the first 5 modes. And that is when you can just click on a... Okay, so did you see the difference between the preview and the actual texture? That is due to insufficient resolution. So I'll crank it up a bit more, go back to the painting, and now if I click, then the resolution will be pretty much what is expected. Actually, I didn't have glossiness activated. For the blade, let's pick a smart material, metal smart material, and I think I will choose some kind of a, well, let's say old metal. Okay, and okay. I'm gonna scoot over this material preview window. Let's see how dense our mesh is. This should hold up. And I'm gonna click on it, get out of this mode, go back to sculpt, and I think just for a quick demo this will do. I hope that this was useful in any way. See you in the next tutorial. Bye.